5.
San Antonio Soccer Examiner Chris Hockman here with a wrap-up of Week 21 of the MLS season. I'm coming to you this week from Southwest Prepatory School in San Antonio. It was a big week of MLS action with 40 goals scored and 5 red cards, and it all got underway as Salt Lake suffered yet another 2-0 loss, this time at the hands of Sporting Kansas City, who with that result became the most informed team in the MLS with 14 games without a loss. RSL keeper Nick Raimondo was active early as Kansas City dominated the opening half, with Bunbury and Espinoza looking particularly dangerous. It was Espinoza who opened the scoring, getting possession at the top of the box and breaking into the area, sending a powerful shot under Raimondo. Bunbury then made it 2 just 5 minutes later as Kamara got on the end of Bessler's long throw, heading it on, Raimondo saving well, but Bunbury came in and scored a great poacher's goal. Espinoza went from hero to villain shortly after half-time as he earned a straight red card for his poor challenge on Kyle Beckerman. Despite that, Sporting Kansas City still seemed to keep control of this match, running out 2-0 winners. The Chicago Fire welcomed 2 new faces and changed their shape as they fought to a 1-1 draw with Philadelphia Union. The Fire controlled the match early, having most of the early chances, but it was Philadelphia who took the lead, as Pejunovic scored against the run-up play, controlling the loose ball 30 yards from goal. He sent a beautiful shot into the lower left corner of the net. The second half was a much tighter affair, and it was a lucky bounce that allowed Chicago to equalise. Pardo capitalising on a bouncing clearance, striking a good shot for his first ever MLS goal. There was then a flurry of chances for both sides in the next 10 minutes, and Aduro would perhaps feel like he should have won the game for Chicago, as the match eventually faded to a 1-1 draw. Kansas City are the most informed team as a result of LA Galaxy's shock loss on Wednesday as they slumped to a 3-0 defeat in Portland. Mike Chivas celebrated his second game back in Portland, where he played his USL football, as he scored his first goal for the Timbers after some nice work with Nagbe earned him some space in the box. Chivas started the play for the second goal in the 33rd minute, sending a throw in for Cooper, who in turn fed Chara, sending it across to Palazzo, who beat his defender and shot past Saunders for 2-0. LA Galaxy didn't even look in the race in the first half, being outshot 9-0. Indeed, they struggled in the second half as well, while Portland shut out the match. The Timbers got a third as Zizzo's corner found Brunner at the far post for the game winner. The Timbers cruising to a 3-0 win. The champions managed a solid 2-0 win as they defeated the Columbus Crew. The Columbus Crew looked to have a good start, but from about the 20th minute they really faded, and all the more so as the Rapids took the lead. Brian Mullen scoring his first goal for the Rapids as he received Thompson's pass at the edge of the area and sent a wonder strike into the upper right corner of the net. Both teams had suffered injuries during the match, which really took a lot of the sting out of this encounter, and the match was certainly over when Colorado scored a second as the Nayasi-Cummings partnership paid dividends. Nayasi sending Cummings through to score the clincher in the 79th minute. It was an exciting night at Gillette Stadium as Chivas USA defeated the New England Revolution 3-2. New England got off to a good start, but it was Chivas USA who took control of the first half and grabbed for the opening goal. LaBroca's pinpoint cross splitting the defence, allowing Moreno a simple tap-in. New England tried to find an equaliser and pushed forward. Chivas responded and managed a second goal. This time LaBroca was the scorer, taking advantage of some poor work from New England in midfield. He scored at the second time of asking after a deflection off of Barnes denied his opening strike. Steve Nicol threw on academy product for Fagundes in an attempt for some more firepower up front, and just 2 minutes later Fagundes earned his side a penalty. Joseph put the penalty away to pull the Ravs back to within 1. New England continued to push hard for an equaliser, only to be denied by some superb goalkeeping. The save turned out to be vital as Moreno restored Chivas' 2-goal lead in the 80th minute after a good ball from Jezic. The story of the night, however, was the arrival of Fagundes, who made things interesting with 4 minutes to go, scoring on his MLS debut. Valentin couldn't handle the long ball, allowing the young 16-year-old through to score, but it was too little too late as Chivas USA went on to win 3-2. And it was another goal fest over in DC as Toronto came to town and fought out a 3-3 draw. It all got started early in the 7th minute as DC keeper Bill Hammond was shown a red card by San Antonio's Jason Anno after sliding in, attempting to clear a long ball and collecting Eric Avila. With a man advantage, Toronto were determined to step up the pressure, while DC United were forced to play the match on the counter. It was 10-man DC United who opened the scoring as De Rosario scored against a former club yet again with a sublime shot that Frey could only parry into the net. Man down but a goal up, DC United had to sit back and try and absorb the pressure, which they did successfully, until just after half-time as Toronto equalised 7 minutes after the break. Cronin failed to clear his line with a punch, allowing Harry Marisevic a simple tap-in. From that point, Toronto really piled on the pressure. Yet again, it was De Rosario putting 10-man DC in front as Zero failed to clear Pontius's cross. De Rosario pounced, rounding the keeper and scoring a simple goal. Referee Anna then angered DC United in the 69th minute. With McDonald down injured in back play, DC wanted to make a sub, which Anna denied, waving play on. Julian de Guzman sent a shot from distance that equalised for Toronto, leaving DC coach Ben Olsen furious, earning him an ejection from the referee. It was a frantic final 5 minutes as Toronto finally took the lead in the 86th minute as Kovermans got his shot through Steve Cronin, only to be denied by a Dwayne De Rosario hat-trick in the 89th minute as Deleuze earned DC a penalty after some nice work and quick thinking. De Rosario happily slotted the penalty and salvaged a draw. DC United would certainly be the happier of the two sides, earning a point after playing with 10 men for 83 minutes. And it was another draw in Philadelphia as the Union and the Dynamo played out a 1-1 draw. Number 19 was the magic number for the Union as Jack McNerney celebrated his 19th birthday with his first goal of the season in the 19th minute. After a nice passing play with the two, McNerney sliding in front of Tally Hall to score the opener. Brad Davis and Corey Ash were dangerous for the Dynamo but were mainly restricted to shots from distance until the 44th minute, when Colin Clark was all alone in the box, only to sky his shot well over the bar, sending the Union to the break 1-0. McInerney was crucial for the Union and was dangerous throughout the second half as well, creating a number of chances but not converting. Such was his impact, Houston came more into the match as he was subbed off in the 66th minute. Philadelphia should have been 2-0 up on the 84th minute after the two went one-on-one with Hall only to hit the post. Jeff Cameron then made the Union pay for that miss as he silenced the crowd with a wonderful goal in the 87th minute, salvaging a point for Houston, who had just 2 shots on target all match. Sporting Kansas City's reign as the most in form in the MLS didn't last long. In fact, it was only 3 days as they suffered their first ever loss at Livestrong Park, a 2-1 defeat to the Seattle Sounders. It was all Kansas City for most of the match as Seattle looked exhausted thanks to fixture congestion, allowing Sporting KC plenty of time and space on the wings. KC had their goal in the 20th minute, and again it was from a Bessel long throw, finding an unmarked Kamara, who easily sorted past Keller. Sporting continued to dominate until the 59th minute when Bravo was sent off for a vicious challenge on Noonan, allowing Seattle to come more into the match. Cushido forced a great save out of Nielsen in the 69th minute, a sign of Seattle starting to take control. But it wasn't until stoppage time that the Sounders finally broke through. Rosales scored the equaliser, carving up the Kansas City defence before a neat finish inside the far post. He then scored the winner just moments later as he broke through the defence again and fired his shot off the post and into the back of the net for a stunning late win for Seattle. The New York Red Bulls' poor run form continues as their winless streak now extends to 5 after they were hammered by Real Salt Lake 3-0 at Rio Tinto Stadium. New York came out defensively, playing all their men behind the ball, which failed to stop Real Salt Lake as they took the lead in the 13th minute. Beckman's free kick headed in by Borges. Right before half-time, RSL had their second as Beckman intercepted Marquez's clearance, sending it to Gill, who sent a nice shot from 25 yards past the keeper for his first career goal. Yet another teenager scoring in week 21. New York made changes at the half and started to come more into the match, but it was always going to be difficult, and Real Salt Lake put the finishing touches on their win. In the 76th minute, Roy Miller was called for a handball in the box on a corner, and it was left to Saborio to score the penalty, wrapping up a solid win for Real Salt Lake and ending their 2-match losing streak. It was a tight match in San Jose as the Earthquakes and Timbers fought to a 1-1 draw, and it was the Timbers who opened the scoring with Kenny Cooper scoring after a good cross from Perlaza, allowed Cooper a tap-in, sending Bush the wrong way. San Jose pushed for an equaliser, and it was Alan Gordon scoring his first goal for the Quakes. Gordon came off the bench in the 56th minute, and just 11 minutes later, his wonderful header equalised for the Quakes, and the Timbers pushed to find a winner, and if not for Burling's crucial intervention in the 88th minute, they may have had it. But neither side was able to break through, the match ending 1-1. LA Galaxy got back on track, and it was FC Dallas who suffered the wrath of the scorned Galaxy side, LA winning 3-1. It looked like it would be a bad night for LA as Dallas took the lead in just the 9th minute, Mike Monsanto destroying the Galaxy defence before passing to an unmarked Chavez who shot from 20 yards, went in off the crossbar. LA Galaxy didn't like being behind, presumably because that means they can't play 11 men behind the ball. And the match got a little more choppy before LA equalised in the 32nd minute after a Beckham free kick was sent to the far post, George John blocking his keeper and leaving Gonzalez with an empty net to head home the equaliser. It was another LA free kick that put them in front. As the ball bounced in the box, it was Juninho who pounced, sending the ball slowly to goal, which bounced off both posts and into the back of the net. It was another Beckham assist for the final goal late on as his corner was whipped in for McGee to slam into the back of the net. A crucial win for LA Galaxy as they keep their only real challengers in the West at bay. The final match of the week saw 6 goals as Eric Hustley led Vancouver to a 4-2 win over Chicago. It was Hustley who opened the scoring in the first minute as he was unmarked and let rip with a shot that went into the top right-hand corner of the net. Chicago tried to play on the counter and it was Dominic Aduro who equalised, getting past his defender, leaving Nolly stranded. Aduro easily scored in the 23rd minute. Vancouver struck back immediately as the plastic pitch struck. Just 1 minute later, Gershon Coffey sent a long-range effort that bounced off the pitch past Johnson to make it 2-1. Hustley had another chance in the 43rd minute as Cuesta brought down Sanvezo in the box. Hustley was denied from the spot by a great save from Johnson. The Whitecaps came out determined in the second half and had their third just after the break as Camilo turned his marker and sent a hard shot into the back of the net. Hustley wrapped things up in the 72nd minute as he got on the end of a Sanvezo free kick, which hit the post, forcing the Frenchman to tap in his own rebound. Baruch was able to pull one back for the Fire in the 80th minute with a neat finish, but it was only a consolation goal as the Whitecaps ran out 4-2 winners. So after a big week in MLS, this week sees international call-ups lead to a lighter week midweek, as of course the United States takes on Mexico in Philadelphia. That match will be live on ESPN. And my thanks to Southwest Prepatory School for letting me use their studio, and be sure to stay tuned for developments on that front. And as always, don't forget to visit examiner.com, the internet source for local. Thank you. See you next week.